Hi and welcome back. In this lecture, we're going to learn about the first type of customer relationship that we can have, which is personal assistance. So what is personal assistance? Well, that is when one human is helping another human, right? Personal assistance, when you are assisting your customers personally. So generally, it's going to be someone from your company, a human, a person, that is going to be helping a customer, which is going to be another human. So they get help personally, hence the name personal assistance. So in this lecture, we're going to look at some advantages of it, disadvantages, and different types of personal assistance. So let's dive in. So let's learn a little bit more about this type of relationship that we can have to our customers. Now, a personal assistance, when you are helping your customers personally, can happen both during the sales and it can also happen after the sale. So we know the timing here. And one of the greatest benefits of personal assistance is human contact. Now, this is something that is almost, or at least getting more and more erased in the digital era, and that is something that people are missing. Your customers value great support and they highly value empathy and being shown that they're cared for. And there's no greater way of doing this than using personal assistance. But that doesn't always mean that this is one of the best type of relationships that you can have with your customers, because we're still, just like we spoke about in the previous lecture, gonna need to look at this from a cost-reward ratio perspective. How much is this going to cost me and how much are my customers going to value this? But one of the greatest way, or one of the greatest applications for personal assistance is through scaling. Now, scaling means that there are different price points for different types of customer relationships. And since personal assistance is one of those more demanding types of relationships, because you need to have someone employing to have it, and well, employees cost, right? And that means that this might be something that you could utilize in your company on the higher levels of the scale. Let's use an example here. So MailChimp, for example, is a marketing automation platform where you can send out your emails to your email list, and they focus a lot on automation. However, they have different price points, different abilities to scale. And you can see that things start off here, starting from free, which is, well, free, and then you get the essentials, $9.99, then you get the standard, $14.99, and then you get the premium, which is $299 a month. That is a very big jump from $14.99. But if we take a deeper look at this, we can start to understand why. One of the things that is included in here is phone support. So that means that if you have any issue with their service, you can pick up the phone, you can call them, and then you're gonna get some personal assistance from them. None of the other types of price points include personal assistance. But if you want to have personal assistance, the price is going to be significantly much higher, but you also get a much greater level of support. So one of the great things to think about when it comes to your company and what type of customer relationship you want to use is, first of all, look at what are your competitors using and what could I be doing differently. And if you notice that personal assistance might be one of those things that are tricky to get in because it costs so much compared to the possible reward, at least in the beginning, you might consider scaling, because scaling means that your customers can choose themselves what type of relationship that they're going to want. And speaking of scaling, there's yet another level to personal assistance, and that is known as dedicated personal assistance. So while with normal personal assistance, you might have, for example, a sales representative. If you go into a store, then you might have a person there who helps you out, they help you with the sale, okay, and they will also say, here's my number, and they might also say, here's a number, call this if you need support. You call the support and you're gonna get someone from the support. So that would be personal assistance. But dedicated personal assistance, that would mean that there is one person specifically that is helping out a customer. And you see this all the time when it comes to banking, right? Especially for high value customers, they will generally assign one single person from the company to always work with that specific customer. And this is known as a dedicated personal assistance. We see this with CPAs, for example. We also see this with digital marketing agencies who will use one person from the company to work with another company. this is very common in B2B sales, that is business to business sales. So dedicated personal assistants is definitely next level. And if you are looking to take this in and use this in whatever service or product that you are offering, you have to consider that suddenly you are becoming a high-end product, unless of course your service is something such as a digital marketing agency or something within finances. Then this might be expected. So we always have to understand what is expected from us. But if we are in something like MailChimp, for example, a marketing automation email service, then adding in something such as personal assistants, and definitely if you would add in dedicated personal assistants, then you would be very, very high end. So the question that you need to ask yourself is, if I turn this service into a high-end service that is a very valuable service compared to competitors, is this something that is going to be appreciated from my customers? Is this something that my customers are longing for, that they are lacking? Does the buyer persona say that, hey, all of their pain points is within the support, like within a lot of technology? Then consider upping up into personal or dedicated personal assistant and see how that works out. So that would be a great way to innovate on your current business model. Now, however, this might not be applicable to everyone, so there is another way as well, and that is using something known as a virtual assistant. And a virtual assistant means that you hire someone virtually, that is, they could be anywhere in the world, who can work remotely for you. And this is fantastic if you have, for example, a website and you need support on your website, right? Well, that means that you can have someone, let's say in Indonesia or in the Philippines, for example, who can take care of the support for you. That's great for them because they get paid for the services that they make, and that's great for you too, because hiring someone in a developing country such as the Philippines or India, for example, well, that means that their currency is weaker, everything to shop in that country is much cheaper, and the salaries are lower. It's just that they have a lower standard on the economy. So that also means that their prices are going to be lower. So that means that if you pay them a lower price than you would from someone in your own country, they're still gonna get a salary that is an average salary in their country. The difference is that in their country, the economy is different, the pricing, buying groceries, buying food, buying services, everything is cheaper because their currency has a different value. Now, another benefit with a virtual assistant also means that if you are not ready to get employees, because you might not be sure how often you need to use this employee, especially in a startup, then using a virtual assistant, you can have this person work per hour, because this personal assistant is probably going to have more projects than just your project, so they can still make more than enough money doing their thing, and you can utilize them for what you need. So it's a great win-win relationship. And there's a lot of different websites offering this type of service. For example, FreeUp, you can find great virtual assistants. You can find them on Upwork. And the point is that they will be cheaper because of the currency difference. And the point is also that you can use them based on the hour, but it's still going to be a human contact, just it's going to be virtual. So I can strongly recommend this if you need virtual support. That is, you have a website or you have an app or whatever that it is that you might have to offer, and the support is going to be online. So the innovation part for you here might be, for example, if you have a software that you are offering and you know that your competitors are only using an FAQ, that is frequently asked questions, and maybe they're using chatbots or similar, but they don't have a lot of dedication on the support, and you might know that this is a pain point. By using a virtual assistant, you could use the human contact with the personal assistant virtually while still not needing to dedicate yourself to actually employing someone, because you don't know how often that is going to be utilized. So virtual assistant is a great way to start out. A lot of startups start off by using them, and then along the way they might start getting more and more employees. So definitely a very clever way to get some great personal assistance while not investing too much, neither in time or money for your business. And finally, we need to think about the long term. And the long term meaning, what implication is a personal assistance going to have? What is it going to mean for the brand? Let me give you some examples of some companies who took personal assistance and customer relationship a whole different route than their industry generally has. So take Tesla, for example. Now, you might know that Tesla is an electric sports car, but Tesla also has the higher customer satisfaction rating by any car brand in the industry. They have a 90% customer satisfaction rating. That is sky high. How do they do it? Well, they've completely gone a different route. Of course, they still have salespeople, but they don't, first of all, use third parties. They do all of their own selling through their own Tesla shops. And secondly, the Tesla people, the people working for Tesla, they do not get a commission when they sell the car. And that means that they can focus completely on the customer experience rather than focusing on the selling. Because you might know it, I know it. If you go to a car dealer and all they're doing is trying to push a sale on you, that is not comfortable. That is not a nice situation to be in, and that goes for any store. So Tesla decided to go a completely different route. They decided to not reward or focus on the sales. They thought that if we create great and different product, the sales will come. And they were absolutely right. So they completely focus on the customer relationship, and one of their greatest focuses is to the personal assistance, and they do it great. They don't push, they simply focus on bringing value and helping. Another example is Apple. Apple is sold in a lot of different stores. They have their own Apple stores, and they're also sold in partner stores, in basically any technology stores. You can find them in there. They'll be there with the other brands of computers as well. But what's different is that the people in the store, this goes for the Apple employees, but it also goes for the employees of the other stores. If they sell a normal, let's say, Microsoft computer, an IBM computer, or a Chrome computer, whatever it might be, they will get a commission for selling those. But selling Apple's product, they never get a commission. So Apple here as well, they have gone out of the commission, the chasing for sales game. And through doing that, they have a completely different customer experience. And we can see the results ourselves. We can see the brand loyalty. Apple is completely through the roof. So Apple is great on understanding personal assistance, because they could, just like Amazon did, they decided as a retailer that they're going to focus everything online. Well, Apple decided not to keep everything online, even though they could. They decided to put out physical stores so that they could also employ people and have sales representatives help people out in the stores and help people through the support without pushing the sales. And this is how you create a great customer journey and very happy customers. So what does this mean for you? Well, that means that once again, look at what is the typical customer relationship model in your industry for your product or service. Look at what your competitors are doing. And then as you've gone through this entire section, what could you add in that's different? What would be the cost-reward ratio, and how would you add that in? So for example, well, adding in personal assistance to, let's say, a meditation retreat might be a perfect thing to do, because a lot of people go to meditation retreats as a service, but maybe they only focus on group. But some people might want the personal assistance part of it so they can really get into it. Well, you might be able to offer that. Would that be a dedicated personal assistance? Would it just be a personal assistance? Or would it be that you have a digital product with your meditation, but a lot of people have questions, so you want to help out answering them, so you decide to use a virtual assistant. Get really creative here. Let your creative juices start flowing and see how we can innovate. And innovating, especially in the customer relationship part of the business model canvas, means to do different from your competitors. Get a different customer journey, get a different result. All right, let's move on to the next lecture. See you there.